Welcome, Golfing Dads fans. We're starting a new series here called the Golfing Dads Halfway House. It's a fun little show that we're about to introduce to you where we can have topics that we're not going to have on the Golfing Dads that are fun and a little short intro for you. So let's get right into it. Welcome into the Golfing Dads Halfway House.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Of the non-virtual option tonight.
No, and this is
that was on location, whatever. Yeah.
A new show for us that we want to talk about. So it's going to be fun topics. Our topic here tonight is we thought, since we're starting something called the Golfing Dads Halfway House, that we're going to talk about our favorite halfway houses on golf courses, or what we like in a good halfway house.
Now
So,
let's define what our view of a halfway house is.
they have alcohol and snacks.
Well,
Location.
we're talking location. We're not talking about, you make the turn, between 9 and 10, and you have to go back into the pro shop, and that's where the bar is. We're talking about a separate building, whether that's between 9 and 10 or somewhere else out on the course. We're not talking about walking back into the pro shop building to the restaurant bar or something like that. This is a standalone building, that we can consider the halfway house, even if it's underneath the pro shop. If it is a separate entity, that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, it's not I will say, it's not like the Deuce at Pinehurst number 2. That's in the clubhouse. That's a bar in the clubhouse and a restaurant. That's not a turn. That's not a halfway house.
I'm going to throw one at Pinehurst, and I'll throw one out there, and we'll start with this one because it's honestly not the one you think I'm going to say.
Oh, really?
No. And
where you
that
going?
Is a good. The Cradle.
The Cradle has, I don't know if that is now a halfway house or if that is their clubhouse, really, to be honest with you. But it's more of a halfway house, to be honest.
It's
the Cradle's bar.
The Pine Cone or whatever the bar is called now. They serve frozen transfusions, so you get bonus for frozen transfusions as far as I'm concerned. I mean, that's going to get you. So the Cradle at Pinehurst, I will say, I think that's the best one at Pinehurst. Although the one at number 4,
and I like a number 4, and that one's a fun one because also it's not at the turn; it's between 8 and 9.
Yes,
and
it backs up to number 2. It backs up to number 2, the golf course. Like you could get there from number 2 if you wanted to.
Yeah,
there's a green on the other side. Yeah, but
you could sneak over there.
You could sneak over there. It does have the coldest bathrooms I've ever been in on a golf course. I'm not going to lie about that. The cool thing, the patio up top, the upper deck, and the food in there is amazing. So yeah, I would give the one on number 4 also an honorable mention at Pinehurst.
But this is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about is these halfway houses. These aren't the clubhouse. These aren't the bar at the clubhouse. These are those places that you can just sneak into real quick, get some provisions for the second half of your round.
Yep.
Now, speaking of sneaking into places, we'll go into one of my favorites here.
Perfect.
Great segue, Dave.
That was a good segue.
So the Robert
taken
Trent
us a year and a half, but Dave has a great segue.
The Robert Trent Jones course there on Hilton Head Island. We've all three of us played it. Greg and I live there. I lived there when they reopened it. They have a halfway house between 9 and 10. It's an actual halfway house right there. But the best part of it
is it an actual halfway house?
It's not
part of the resort. It's not.
No. There's a halfway house between 9 and 10.
Oh, there is an actual halfway house.
There's an actual halfway house between 9 and 10. Yes. But the best part is, once you finish playing 10, if you look over to your left, there's a fence line running between one of the resorts and the course. There may still be a hole in that fence line, and there's a bar down there at the end of that resort where Greg and I used to live at the Stack and Shack Resort. You can sneak through that hole and get a little bit cheaper beer and
more beer.
And more beer.
It's a bigger
glass. If you're the playing partner that has to run through that hole and you come back carrying 4 beers, that's a win.
That's a win.
That's a fun one because it's on the beach. It's on the ocean.
It's on the beach.
It's a tiki bar technically that is really only open, and I don't even know if it's still open, to be honest with you.
I don't know.
like college resort students that are there as interns. Like it's a cheap like bar that you kind of just find. It's not for something that like
I think I came back with draft. I think I came back with draft Bud Light, and that's what it was.
You came back with draft something, but they were in the big like clear plastic cups.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
they were 20 ounces. Yeah, they were good. Yeah.
But yeah, we hit the halfway. Robert Trent Jones, that course there on Hilton Head Island has a great halfway house between 9 and 10. You can't knock it for that, but the better one is the Tiki Bar off the course that you just kind of sneak through the fence to get to.
Great. It proves that golfers have made that hole there for that purpose.
Yes, I believe so. Or the residents of the resort there have made that hole to go out and chip and putt on the course there.
One or the other.
Serves a dual purpose.
Yes, it does.
Greg, I'm going to bring another course up. You and I have played it also.
Mm-hmm. I know where you're going.
In the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. In the middle of a old salt mine or quarry.
Phosphate mine.
Phosphate mine. That's what it is.
5-star resort, Stream Song. I'm a huge fan of Stream Song Red. Anyway, it's one of my favorite golf courses. Part of the reason it's one of my favorite golf courses is their halfway house is brisket.
You can smell their halfway house by the like fourth hole.
And the time I played it, we had the guys in our group had a caddy. They had a caddy out there, and the caddy said to me, "Hey, don't get the sandwich. Get it in a cup. Pour both sauces in it." I ordered 2 of them. 2 holes later, I was debating on running back and getting more because it was so freaking good.
So I'm going to ask you this, Steve.
Yep.
About this golf course and about the brisket that's there. Because you know how we love golf, and we do love our food and drink here.
We do.
What ranks higher, Stream Song Red or the halfway house?
Wow.
Or Bucky's brisket.
No, this is better. I'm not going to lie. I do love me some Bucky's brisket. This is better than Bucky's brisket. I mean, you don't have somebody yelling hot brisket on the board. But I will say, here's the thing with Stream Song, and it's not just the red golf course. The blue has tacos, and you can now get brisket tacos. And then the black course has lobster rolls.
But I'm asking you, between the red course and their own halfway house, what's the bigger draw for you there?
The red golf course, because it's so freaking good.
Yeah, but so's that brisket.
It really truly is. I'm not gonna lie, like it is, but I'm still taking the red golf course. Greg, what do you got?
So I'm gonna use one that we talk about here a lot. We've talked about number 4. We've talked about Stream Song. We talked about the Robert Trent Jones, which is a staple. I think it's one of those like just it's unique for what it is. I'm gonna use one at Carlton River that's at the Nicholas course. It is a unique halfway house that it is right behind the driving range, so you can start your round going there. It's at the turn between 9 and 10, like in a perfect walkway right in the center. It's got phenomenal food, the most phenomenal staff in there that'll help you with anything. And it's also where we found the best Powerade of all time, the lemonade.
Is true.
Like
I bought some the other day. Not gonna lie, and thought about that.
Now I think about that for there. But they have great Southern food there, biscuits. They have
the biscuits.
Their breakfast is so good. There, the egg sandwiches. Oh, forget it. I'm a fat kid.
Yeah.
Like
but it's a great way to start your round. Like I actually like it not as the halfway house as much, but I like it to be like, hey, I'm going to get something real quick here to just get me going before the round. There's not much to it. It's very simple, but it serves the purpose of a good halfway house.
Yeah.
So that's one that I like. So with that, I'm going to ask you guys, what are the staples that you like to see in a halfway house? Like what makes it a good halfway house?
Location,
not like a specific one. Okay.
Location.
The availability of not just like roller hot dogs, but in actual. There's nothing wrong with a roller hot dog, and I know where you're going. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm going to go down a road here with a roller hot dog.
But having more of a full, not just cold sandwiches, but if like you had a prep cook in the back that could do like a fried chicken sandwich with a basket of fries, and get it out. Yes, it doesn't hold things a little bit up, but yes, everybody's stopping and ordering something and a full bar, not just beer, but if you can get transfusions at the turn, that helps out.
So, Dave, I like that. Before we get to the roller hot dog, I'm going to agree with you there because anywhere can just put a roller hot dog out there. You can do other things, Steven. I know what you're getting into with this. But yeah, I like that if you have more variety of stuff where it's not just like a pre-made sandwich and stuff, where it's more than just grab and go. And it's prepped a little bit more too. So it's not just like I'm waiting 10, 15 minutes for something. They can cook it up real quick. That makes everything good for me.
So here, and now I'll throw
I need to argue the roller hot dog here before we go down. I need to argue the roller hot dog because one of the courses I have on my list has a halfway house called the Crow's Nest. May or may not have just been on our show recently from Branson, Missouri. Not that wrong one. Not that Crow's Nest. And that is Paynes Valley has the halfway house, and you get to it, and it's an interesting one because you get to it, you can get there on 8T. It's the first time you get to it, and then you get to it again on 10T. So you hit it twice. It's all you can eat food. All the food in there is included. Bottled water is also included. You have to pay for drinks, any other drinks other than bottled water and food and your food. Everything else, everything's included there. They have a roller. Nice perk. Yeah. They also have really good trail mix. They've got some great snacks to throw in the cart with you that you can just grab. They also have frozen Snickers bars in there. But I'm going to argue your roller hot dog because all they have are roller hot dogs, but they're bison dogs.
That's not a hot dog. That's bison. That's completely different. And
I
live in the land of pork, and I will argue that one.
To be honest, who knows what's actually in a hot dog most times? So
let's
just be honest.
Can we go back to the great outdoors on that?
I had a great hot dog at a course here in Indiana last week. It wasn't a halfway house. It was back into the clubhouse. So I don't count that as a halfway house, but it was a roller dog, but it was a big, plump, good one. Yeah. That roller dogs are good. Roller dogs are good.
Greg, have you had really quick and going back to it's in the clubhouse? Have you had the hot dog at Tobacco?
Oh yeah,
the pimento cheese hot dog at Tobacco.
No, I've had the regular hot dog at Tobacco, but it's still the same.
But the pimento cheese hot dog at Tobacco is like honorable mention for maybe the best golf course food I've ever eaten.
So I would say this: Tobacco Road, if they had a halfway house, but to be honest, their clubhouse is more like a halfway house. To be honest,
it really truly is.
So that would be an honorable mention. It's not a halfway house.
Yeah.
But okay, so speaking of roller dogs, let's talk about halfway houses that you roll your golf cart through. The drive-through. The drive-through halfway house. Now, I know you two guys have played a lot of courses that I haven't, and I understand that. But I'm going to throw one out there that our friends out at Tag Golf have played. That I play. It's here in Iowa. It's called Spirit Hollow. It's one of our top courses here in Iowa. It's down here in Burlington, just a couple minute drive down the road for me. It's a drive-through halfway house between 9 and 10. You go underneath their Top Golf Simulator driving range up above that, and their halfway house is right under there. Everything you're looking for between a full menu and a full bar. I like being able to drive my golf cart right under there. Bathrooms, bar, all right there. For me,
so you drive in, park your car. And is it like a drive-through?
Park my car. Store? Yes, I park my car.
No, I get it. You park your cart. But is it like a drive-through liquor store?
It would almost be like a drive-through liquor store, yes.
So, Dave, you grew up in Pennsylvania.
Yes,
I went
to
to school in Pennsylvania. So, is it like in Pennsylvania when you drive up to a
I'd like the number one supersize, please. No, it's not like that.
When you drive up to get beer in Pennsylvania, you have to drive up to the liquor distributor. They have a sign, and you're like, okay, I want the Yingling, this, and then just throw it in the trunk, and you slip the cash like a drug deal through the window.
Almost, but you can get out of your cart, here and do that. But yes. But yeah, so the drive-through halfway house, I mean, we see it here in Iowa, at a couple different places, but I think Spirit Hollow for me, one of my friends, fan of the show, Doc Donnelly, Matt will agree with me that's probably one of the better ones out there here for the state of Iowa.
I will say Wolf Creek has one too out in Mesquite. And you pull up, and it's got curbs on each side, so you can't really get out of your car. And you pull up like you're at McDonald's, and you literally hand your credit card or cash through the window, and they give you what you want, and then you just keep going. Wolf Creek has one. It's pretty fun. And the nice thing about the one at Wolf Creek also is that the way the golf course is laid out, you hit it like after 5 or 6, and then you hit it again on the back 9. So it's in a good location for them because you can get there twice and you don't have to go into the clubhouse either. So that I will give them credit because it's you being able to hit it twice. I'm like Stream Song, and I love it. Don't get me wrong, but you can't go back and get more brisket.
Yeah. I do like that. So if we're talking about like what we like about things, I like when a halfway house is more than just a halfway house in a sense that you can hit it twice in a round. You might hit it early in the front 9 and then a little bit later in the back 9. And that way you get more variety and you're not having to like bulk up and store everything like a squirrel in your cart.
Yes.
Like you can get stuff at different times there. So that's another feature that I think we like about the halfway house.
Let me ask you, and of course we've all played, and I want your opinion of this. Here in Orlando, the Muni in downtown Orlando, Dub's Dread.
Dub's Dread.
When you go from 12 to 13, you have to cross.
Is that the Sam Gates home course?
You have to cross. What road is that? Parr Avenue. It's Parr Avenue. You have to cross there, right?
Yep.
Right by Edgewater High School. And when you go, there's literally as you cross the street, there's an ABC liquor store right there. Is that a halfway house for you if you're going from 12 to 13 and there's a liquor store on the corner there?
No, it's just convenient. That's a convenience store.
You
might as well put a Wawa there.
But you know what's funny?
The chances of you getting shot going across that street are just as great as you coming back with beer to the course.
Yeah, you're in College Park, so it's not as bad. You're in College Park, but here's my question, though. That's the only place there. If you want a cigar, that's the only place on the golf course you can buy a cigar because the city doesn't sell cigars.
I like how you said
it's Dub's Dread. You might be able to
not
roll
on the golf course.
I mean,
it's Dub's Dread. You might be able to roll the grass on the course.
Are we talking the Carl Spackler?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So, but okay, here's another one. It's one we've all played in Florida. I don't know if it's gonna fall in the qualifications of a halfway house, but it's its own separate window. Celebration.
So it's kind of because it's not really, it's a separate window and it's off at the end of the clubhouse.
It's off the end of the clubhouse. It's not part of the bar.
You don't have to go into the clubhouse.
You don't have to go into the clubhouse, but it's still in the same building.
I would say it is halfway house adjacent. It's not its own. It's not its own thing. It's on the clubhouse. It's on the end. It wants to be a halfway house, but it also still wants to be part of the clubhouse in a sense.
Because you can sit out there. You can sit out there after the round.
Yeah.
There's tables. There's chairs.
I feel like that golf course really should have a better halfway house.
Yes,
I agree. I feel they could fit it if they took out some shrubs and stuff over by 10.
Shrubbery?
Yeah.
Shrubbery
With a herring.
Over by 10. Over by that extra putting green over there. Like their third putting. They have like 3 putting greens on that golf course. Take that out and put a nice halfway house there. That would be a kind of cool feature to there. Move what you have and just enhance it a little bit. That would enhance that course. And it's a great course to begin with.
It's a great course. Mm-hmm. But so, Greg, you brought up breakfast before, and Steve and I were talking about this before you came on. Mm-hmm. A nice cold apple at Shingle Creek, right there in a cooler at their halfway house at Shingle Creek, which I think is one of the best things available.
It's a good feature. Like that's
yes.
So let's do that with this. Let's kind of wrap this up here. We've talked about there. What are the best things? Like you talked about that apple. We've talked about the pimento hot dog at Tobacco Road. What are the best things that you've had in a halfway house that made it special?
That's a really good question.
Okay, so here's one, and I'll throw it out there. And the first time I had this happen was at Paynes Valley. The food was included.
Yeah, that's a good feature to have.
Great. I mean, you're already paying, obviously, the facility at Paynes Valley and the golf course was getting $450. So you're paying top dollar to play there, obviously. And so to say that your food is included is really nice, and it's a nice little bonus. The other thing that I think that if you have it, you're not going to include drinks, obviously. That's just not going to happen. But having a signature item that is unique to that golf course, I think is two of the things that I think are really cool.
Not just unique to the golf course, but unique specifically to the halfway house, I think is really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think like a cool halfway house that I saw was at Fields Ranch at the PGA headquarters. They had a great halfway house and a great hot dog out there. Yeah. And they had like a signature like brisket sandwich, like grilled cheese brisket. Like, oh, it was.
The other thing they had at Paynes Valley, which is interesting, and obviously the 19th hole, and everybody knows about the 19th hole. The 19th hole had its own bar right next to the tee box.
I think that falls in the category of the cradle bar. Like, it's not a halfway house because you're not halfway between anything. It's its own entity.
Right. But it has its own beer. Both of the 19th hole and the Crow's Nest have their own merch as well at Paynes Valley that you can only get at those locations. You can't buy them in the pro shop. So it's kind of a cool little that to me is if there's something like you're like, oh man, this was so cool. I got to buy some merch from here, buy a hat, buy a shirt, something. You can buy things at those locations that are the shirt on the 19th hole says I got wet on the 19th hole. That was the shirt.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they're really Michael Scott now.
Yeah.
That's what you said.
Go ahead, Dave.
One of my favorites, and again, something it's a semi-private course. It's where my father-in-law belongs at Wickenburg Ranch. It's not a halfway house, but they have a par 3 9-hole with a bar right there at the 9th hole when you get done, called the Watering Hole, which phenomenal name. That you can watch people come in. It's open to the residents, so you can watch people come in, sit out there. They have a separate menu away from the bar, the main resort as well too. But it's a phenomenal location, perched on the water right next to the 9th hole. And I think location for a halfway house, you don't want it just tucked away back, in the woods. But if you got a minute or two and you can watch the tee box, I think location and view makes something special of a halfway house.
And that's how I would say is that the one thing that we have all said here is making it unique, like the tiki bar that's there, having a signature dish, having something that's more than just a ham sandwich that you could get out of a vending machine and a hot dog that you're just getting off of a roller at a movie theater. Having more than that,
and a chicken Caesar wrap, because they're going to have one of those.
Exactly, like that makes it unique. That makes it fun, and that's what makes it a fun halfway house. So that's what this show is going to be too. Is we're going to make this a fun show that is fun topics to talk about here. Just like talking about a halfway house, we might talk other sports that are coming up here, but this is our fun little topics that we just couldn't fit into the tavern. So this is our halfway house.
If you got a topic out there, send us a message.
Exactly.
We'll talk about it.
We may talk sports mascots one week, and here Dave say that the Philly Fanatic Dave said the Philly Fanatic is the greatest one ever.
That is the hill that I will die on.
Well, with that being said, thank you, everybody. Hope you like this, and we'll see you next time. I'm really fortunate. I have an opportunity to build something that's
somebody was commenting about playing Whistling Straits for 700